Okay, rate of change. A curve has an equation. Okay, find expression. So A, we find the dy dx first. Before we find dy dx, we write y equals to x squared plus 4x power negative 1. This one go up. Easier for us to do dy dx. So this one 2x minus 4x negative 1 minus 1 negative 2. Okay, now I write again. So 2x minus 4 over x squared. B. The rate of change of y when x equals to 1 and x equals to 2, given that x increases at a constant rate of 3 units per second. Okay, that means the x increases 3 units per second. This is dx dt equals to 3 units per second. Okay, x increases at a constant rate. So it's dx dt. The question asks you to find the rate of change of y. The question asks you to find dy dt. Okay? And when x equals to 1 and x equals to 2, x equals to 1, x equals to 2, you substitute inside. Substitute inside the rate of change. That means two different. Okay, one is okay, when x equals to 1, your dy dt, substitute here. dy dx, sorry, dy dx. 2x minus 4 over 1 square. When x equals to 2, dy dx equals to, okay, you substitute inside first, you find when x equals to 1, x equals to 2. When x equals to 1, dy dx equals to negative 2. When x equals to 2, dy dx equals to 3. Okay, now the question asks you to find the rate of change, asks you to find dy dt. Okay, dy dt equals to, okay, this is, you need to learn how to do the chain rule. Dy dt equals to dy dt like this. So here you write dx. Okay, when x equals to 1, dy dt equals to dy dx multiply dx dt. And when x equals to 1, dy dx equals to negative 2, dx dt given equals to 3. So negative 6. Okay, again, dy dt, okay, change the chain rule. You see dy dt, what you want, up and down. Okay, then dx here, because you are given dx. So when x equals to 2, comma, dy dx equals to 3. And dx dt equals to 3. So equals to 9. That means 2 answer here. Okay, for example 19. Okay, the y given and then dy dx, you find it. When x equals to 1, dy dx equals to negative 2. The rate of change of y equals to dy dt. dy dt, and here dx, here dx. So this one we call as a chain rule, and this is very important. Okay, equals to negative 3 times 2 equals to negative 6. So the rate of change of y is negative 6 units per second. Okay, if negative meaning it is decrease. The rate is decreasing. Okay, when x equals to 2, dy dx equals to 3. And now you substitute dy dx to 3 here times dx dt given here. So it's 9. The rate of change of y is 9 units per second. Therefore, y is said to increase at the rate of 9 units per second. Positive means increase, negative means decrease. Okay, rate of change using the chain rule. What you need, the rate of change of y. So when the rate of change of over dt of y, so dy dt. Okay. So the question asks you to find dy dt, so you form the dy dt is a chain rule. Okay, next example 20. Okay, let's see. The diagram on the right show an inverted cone with a base radius of 5 cm and height of 12 cm, filled with some water. Water leaks out from a small hole here, dip up, at the tip of the cone at a constant rate. This is constant rate. 4 cm cube per second. This one given. So given here, this one power 3. So this is dV, volume, over second over t. Okay, this one is information for dV dt. Find the rate of change of the depth of water in the cone when the height of the water is 3 cm. Rate of change of depth. Okay, the question want to find this one. The question want to find the depth of change, meaning the question want the dH dt. Okay, the depth here, the height here. Okay, so the question asks you to find here dH dt. You are given when h equals to 3. Okay, so here v, here t, you want to find dH dt. So you must have something like this, dH dt. Okay, and you have given dV dt. So you substitute here dV dt. So later you can cancel. Okay, now you have this information dV dt. You need to find dH dt. You don't have dH dV. Alright, so you can form the formula by yourself. The volume of the cone, 1 over 3 pi r square h. Okay, from here you can find dV dH. Okay, dV dH. Okay, so from after you find dV dH already, here you substitute, you terbalik lah, dH dV, terbalik the answer. Okay, dV dH, dV dH. Okay, now let's see. Let R, H and V can be the radius, height, R is here lah, height and volume. Okay, just now here, number 1, you find volume equals to 1 over 3 pi r square h. And you are given R equals to 5, you substitute inside. Okay, like this, bigger one. This is 5, this is R. This is 12, this is H. Okay, R over 5, okay, equals to H over 12 by using a similar triangle. So R over 5 equals to H over 12. R equals to, this one 5 up, so 5H over 12. And when R equals to 5H over 12, you substitute back into here, the volume. So 1 over 3 pi R square H. And R equals to 5H over 12, put inside here. And you expand it, you get this, all in H. V equals to 25 pi over 432 H power 3. Now from here, do dV dH, this one. Okay, V equals to 25 pi over 432 H power 3. You do dV dH. Okay, so 3 come in front. Multiply 3 over 432. So you get this one. 25 pi over 144 H. 3 go in front D. And then 3 minus 1, 2. So this is dV dH. Okay. And now, dV dH equals to this. And the question say, I want to find the rate of change. The question want dH dt. Okay. So I will start dH dt. This one you change. But I don't use this method, you see here, because I copy here for you. I will start with what the question want. The question one dh dt, so I just write here dh dt. dh dt. You have here dv, here dv. Okay? And here dv dh. dv dh from here. Straight away from here, dv dh. Okay, now I want dh dv terbalik. Okay? Inverse of this. H is on top lah. So therefore here will become 144 over 25 h square multiply dv dt given is 3. So multiply 3 here. Sorry, 4. dv dt equals to 4. And h equals to 3, can substitute 3 inside here lah. So 144 over 25 here pi, 25 pi h square. H equals to 3 square. Multiply dv dt equals to 4. Okay, so this answer later if same with here. So I will cancel this method. Okay, I will cancel this method. I will straight away dh dt equals to dh dt. And here I write dv, here I write dv. And this one from, you substitute the, because this is not really direct. The question asks you to find the r yourself. After you find your r yourself inside, okay, you got the all in term of v, in term of h. V in term of h, then you can find dv dh. You find dv dh already, but here I want dh dv terbalik. So 144 over 25 pi h square. And you are given h equals to 3, you substitute 3 inside here. And this one dv dt given 4, substitute 4 only. Okay, so hence the rate of change of depth of water means dh dt is negative 0.8148 centimeter per second because dh dt, h is cm. The depth of water is said to reduce because it's negative, so the rate is reduced. Okay, example 20. So next, example 21. Okay, let's do together example 21. The radius of a spherical balloon filled with air increases at the rate of 0.5 cm per second. Radius, so 0.5 per second, 0.5 per second. The radius, right? So it is dr dt. Okay, so given dr dt, so information given. Find the rate of change of volume. So the question asks you to find dv dt, rate of change. So dv dt. So later you will find like this dv dt, and you're given r. So here dr, here dr. Okay, so you start with this dv dt, and the radius equals to 4. Okay, so it is not difficult. You just take out the information. What information? Okay, first information, or you copy down, or you can just label here. And what the question want, you make it the chain rule. Okay, now you very confirm. dv dt you need to find. dr dt given. dv dr you need to find yourself later, only substitute. So now let's do dv dr. Before dv dr, v equals to, okay, the volume, the sphere. What is the formula for this? V is volume of the sphere. dv 4 over 3 pi r cube. Okay, so this is the volume of a sphere. Now, I want to dv/dr. dv/dr. Differentiate the volume with respect to radius. Differentiate v with respect to r. So 4 over 3 times 3, 4 pi r square. Okay, dv/dr given. Okay, and r is equals to 4. So when r equals to 4, comma, dv/dr equals to 4 pi r square. So this one you multiply, what you get? dv/dr. dv/dr 4, 64 pi, is it? Yeah, 64 pi. Okay, dvdr. You can substitute here already, and dr dt. So now what the question one? dv dt. The question one, dv dt. dv dt again, dv dt, right, like this. And so here write dr, here dr. Okay, dv dr, when r equals to 4, dv dr equals to 64 pi. So right here 64 pi. dr dt given 0.5. Okay, so the answer is times. Okay, so 32 pi. And 32 pi, you can use pi equals to 3.142. Your calculator, you get 100.5. So this is dv dt. Therefore, the rate of change of volume when the radius is r equals to 4 is 100.5 per second. Okay, or the dvdt equals to 100.5, because this is volume per second. Okay, done.